Hi, it's Danielle. Welcome to my perfume journal where I document my love of perfume. It is time for the March edition of my series called Perfume Collecting for Regular People, where I pull back the curtain on how I manage to be an ardent perfume enthusiast on a budget that works for me. So I thought February was great, but March scooped it. So let me tell you all about this month. First, the bottles. Okay, so my husband came back from a trip with a bottle of the re-release of one of my unicorn perfumes, Boudoir from Vivienne Westwood. I did a whole video just on this one perfume. It was a deep dive into the differences between the original Boudoir and the re-release, so I will link that down below for any Boudoir fans or curious Boudoir people. And so the new release is unequivocally Boudoir. There is no mistaking it. It has been described as a lighter, fresher boudoir, which I would say is true about the opening. There is like a sparklier quality to the opening of this boudoir, but underneath it is still the same fantastic, spicy vanilla floral with a touch of sweatiness that it always was. It is very much a boudoir, a bedroom scent, but the red velvet curtains of the original boudoir are now pink. The brocade bedding is now silk, and the once fur carpet has been replaced by a plush shag. It's different and the same all at once, and still 100% fabulous. I also purchased a bottle of Rabanne Ultrared. This is a perfume that I had on my safe blind buy list for quite some time when I was on a kick of looking up perfumes with a combination of a strawberry and licorice note. And this perfume also had notes of marshmallow, jasmine, and star anise, which I thought sounded wonderful. And so I was really hopeful about this one. It was released in 2008 and created by Khalees Becker, who also gave us Marc Jacobs Lola. She gave us the 2024 re-release of Vent Vert from Balmain and a huge number of perfumes in the original Killian line that were so good at the time that they were released. So the verdict on Ultrared is I like it, but I don't love it. It sort of missed the mark on what I was hoping for. It definitely has a lot of red fruitiness. It's very sweet and red and powdery, but it is missing what I would thought a double dose of licorice and star anise would bring to the scent. I was hoping for more of that like dark spiciness here, but it's just not coming through for me. And so in this way, I definitely prefer my bottle of Amethyst Cumulus from Perfume, which has more of the licorice note that I was seeking. That perfume is strawberry, licorice, and oolong tea. And so with Ultrared, I was hoping for the same like strawberry licorice combo, but replace the oolong tea with florals. And unfortunately, it just fell a little short for me. But again, I do like it. I just don't love it. The bottle is weird. It's like a squishy hamburger, and the atomizer spritzes when you press like the springy hamburger bun top to the bottom. It's weird, but I also kind of like it. It's not a bad blind buy, but definitely not one of my best. Okay, so in transit, on its way to me as we speak, is a perfume that I waited many years to find a bottle of. You might remember me talking about one of my favorite independent perfumers, Whitney Swales from Wit and West Perfumes. She creates these beautiful botanical creations, many of which she makes her own ingredients for using classic techniques like enfleurage and tincturing. And so if you ever want to dip your toe into the world of botanical perfumery, a Wit and West Discovery Set is a wonderful place to start. Botanical perfumery is very different from anything you will find in the commercial market. Wit's botanical perfumes are interesting and evocative and thought-provoking and like nothing else I've ever smelled before. So anyway, I can't even remember how Wit and I got talking about this perfume, but somehow it came to our attention that KFC, yes, KFC made a fragrance inspired by their secret blend of 11 herbs and spices. And so we were laughing and talking about how this could possibly smell. And then we made a pact that if either one of us ever found this perfume, we would buy it and send the other one a decant. Well, after years of waiting and searching and waiting and searching, I found a bottle of this stuff. And so I immediately messaged Wit and I said, "We got it. It's ours. It's finally ours. And it's on the way." And so I told Wit that I was going to have my husband decant it for her so that once it made its way to her, we could actually smell it together in real time. So at this point in time, I cannot tell you what this perfume is going to smell like because one, it hasn't arrived yet, and two, I will be smelling this along with Wit, and I will have to report back on whether this does indeed smell like Kentucky Fried Chicken. I added a decant of Burberry Goddess to my collection when I purchased my bottle of Ultrared. I threw this in as I had sprayed it on at Sephora recently and realized that I had written off this perfume far, far too quickly. This is Burberry's take on the lavender vanilla profile with a lovely bit of spicy ginger and then a scant dusting of cocoa. So if you have smelled other Burberry perfumes before, I would say that this definitely fits the Burberry brand. I find Burberry perfumes to be very perfumey. It's a quality I happen to love, and this is perfumey vanilla to the max. And since winter seems to be totally endless this year, I have gotten some really nice use out of this decant already, even as a March purchase, and I am sure that I will still have enough left to last me through next year's winter as well. It is just beautiful, warm, spicy, vanillic, perfumey goodness, and I love it. So, I also mentioned in a couple of earlier videos that my friend Allie and I decided to do another swap with each other this month, and it was a ridiculous amount of fun because swapping with a good friend is such an awesome way to declutter and bring some newness into your collection for the low, low price of a little bit of postage. Totally worth it if you ask me, because on top of a declutter and newness, you get to talk with your friend about what they sent you and what you sent them, and it's like the best of both worlds for any perfume enthusiast. So, in our swap, I received from Allie two travel sizes of perfume that I have long, long loved, but never ever added to my collection until now. Diptyque's Eau de Sens and Philosykos. So, Eau de Sens is an airy, breezy orange blossom. It's very crisp and green and very, very Diptyque smelling. The signature simplicity of Diptyque is very apparent in this perfume. And Philosykos is a referential fig perfume to me. It is the entirety of the fig tree in one perfume. It is the green and somewhat sharp stemminess of the fig leaf, and then the creamy milkiness of the fig fruit all in one. I adore both of these perfumes, and I am so excited to have two new travel sizes of them in my collection. Okay, on to the declutter. So I moved along 8 bottles of perfume this month. Some I sold and some I gave to Allie in our swap. So once the perfumes on my cabinet shelves start creeping dangerously toward the edge of the shelves, that's when it is time for me to declutter. I will not overflow my perfume cabinet. Once the shelf is full, I have enough, it's enough. So I decluttered a whole bunch of bottles. Difficult decisions had to be made, but one perfume cabinet is plenty. So I decluttered Giacomo's Aura. This is a very vintagey version of a fresh spring floral. It was one of my weirdo perfumes because it's that combination of powdery, fluffy, woody, and sour all at once. To me, this is still a very, very interesting perfume, but it is one that I ultimately decided on moving along when the shelves got too full. I also decluttered Curve Crush from Liz Claiborne. This is a wonderfully nostalgic perfume for all of my millennial friends. This is like a spiced chai with laundry musks. And in the end, for me, the laundry musks didn't work on me, so off it had to go. This one was a really hard one to let go of. This is Guess Dare. It's fantastic. This is a fresh and juicy kumquat and dewy fruit blossom perfume with just a whisper of a tropical vibe. And in the end, I decided to move this along because I think I would rather have Le Jardin de Monsieur Lee from Hermes as my kumquat perfume of choice, but that does not diminish how much I do love Guerlain. There just isn't room for both. Off went Intimate Silhouette from Christian Siriano. This perfume smells a lot like commodity milk. And so I have learned from this style of perfume, Intimate Silhouette, commodity milk. This is her from Zadig and Voltaire, Blanche Bette from Liquide Imaginaire. Many lactonic perfumes end up smelling like baby spit up on me personally, so I just cannot wear them. So I sent this one along. Oh, this was another hard one to let go of. This is the discontinued and much sought after Nirvana Amethyst from Elizabeth and James. This is really a good perfume. It really is. It's honeysuckle, tobacco, and cedar. It's warm and woody with that sort of like sweet floral swirl in it. But in the end, I moved this one along because I just was not reaching for it. I think tobacco and I are just not meant to be friends much of the time. So even though I do like the way this smells, I just didn't seem to want to wear it much anymore. So I made sure this went to a very good home. I gave Allie my bottle of white tea vanilla orchid from Elizabeth Arden. This is another great perfume. It's one of those affordable gems. It's a genre of fragrances that I love, that clean, fresh, creamy kind of profile. No reason to let this one go other than some things just had to go. But Allie said she loves it. She describes it as fluffy, powdery, freshy tea. And I love that. So I'm happy it went to a friend who is going to enjoy it. I also let go of two women, Hugo Boss woman and Adam Levine woman. So Allie and I actually had the same reaction to Hugo Boss woman. That was a blind buy for me and a blind swap for her. And we both agreed that this is a very, very late 90s, early aughts kind of a perfume. But where it ended up disappointing both of us in the end is the lack of noticeable mango. We were looking forward to the mango note and it just wasn't there. So it's a nice, fresh, inoffensive perfume, but we both wanted more mango and it didn't give, as the kids say. And then Adam Levine Woman, that was a tough decision. I just got that perfume and I ended up giving it to Allie, even though I realized after I looked at her Parfumo that she already had it. So hopefully she can pass it along to someone who is going to enjoy it. This is a really good perfume. It is a lovely vanilla sandalwood. It's warm and creamy and cozy and inviting, but my woody perfume section was filling up and I have other woody perfumes currently on my wish list that will take up more room. Something had to go, and so this, along with the Nirvana Amethyst, just didn't make it. Perfume Survivor, it was voted off the shelf. Okay, so it is time to get down to the numbers, the stats, the dollars, the cents of it all. And I always like to start by saying that I have a monthly perfume budget of no more than $150. I know and recognize that it is a privilege to have any fun money to spend each month, and it is not a privilege I ever take for granted, no matter how hard I work for this extra cash to spend. So, okay, in total, I brought in 3 bottles, 2 travels, 1 decant, and 19 samples. On the perfumes that I purchased, I spent $128.30, and that included postage for my swap with Allie. So I did stay within my budget this month. Yay me. I decluttered a total of 8 bottles, 1 decant that wasn't homemade, 1 discovery set, and 5 samples that weren't homemade. A lot of the stuff that I sent Allie were decants from my own collection. And from my declutter sales that I did, I brought in a total of $44.47. So you know what time it is. It is perfume math time. So at the end of it all, I spent a total of $83.83 of new money on my perfume hobby, my perfume collecting for this month. So that was the bottom line. I stayed in budget both before and after perfume math. So that is it for March. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for spending your time here with me. And thank you for chatting perfumes with me in the comments. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.